Babylon's shadow, celestial balance, cosmic betrayal, cosmic chaos, underworld rising, divine wrath, eternal conflict, giants awaken, infernal might, shadowed thrones.
The chapter begins with a foreboding scene over Babylon as Cyrus the Great returns, leading a massive Persian army to finish what he had begun. The vast force is divided into three layers: the infantry and archers at the front, the cavalry in the middle, and at the rear, the terrifying giants, ancient beings of immense power, led by Gruggith the Stonebreaker. Their arrival is marked by a trembling earth and an oppressive atmosphere, foreshadowing the cataclysmic battle to come. The Persian onslaught. The battle begins with the Persian infantry advancing toward the city walls, their ranks bristling with spears and shields, while archers unleash a relentless hail of arrows. Chariots charge toward the gates, their drivers urging their horses forward. Within the city, Ira, the protector of Babylon, commands the defenders with unyielding determination. The city's walls, rebuilt and reinforced, withstand the initial assault, and the defenders repel the attackers with arrows, stones, and boiling oil. Despite the fierce resistance, the second wave, the Persian cavalry, sweeps around the city's flanks. Their devastating charge nearly breaks the Babylonian lines, but Ira rallies his men, his supernatural presence, and the Blazefrost celestial sword turning the tide. The defenders hold their ground, but the most formidable threat has yet to arrive. The giants enter the fray. As the ground trembles, the giants make their presence known, their colossal forms striking fear into the hearts of Babylon's defenders. These ancient creatures of stone and fury breach the city gates with overwhelming force. Gruggith, leading the charge, smashes through the reinforced gates, and the giants begin their rampage through the city. The defenders, who had bravely faced the Persian army, falter before these monstrous foes, their courage wavering as the giants lay waste to the city's defenses. Ira, atop the walls, steels himself for the challenge. Descending into the chaos, he confronts the giants directly, using the icy power of the Blazefrost celestial sword. Despite his skill and strength, the giants prove nearly impervious to physical attacks, their stony forms shrugging off blows that would fell any mortal enemy. However, Ira notices that his sword's cold energy leaves patches of frost on their bodies, revealing their vulnerability to extreme cold. Turning the tide, harnessing the frost within him, Ira intensifies his attacks, focusing the sword's cold power against the giants. The Black Iron Horse, his supernatural steed, joins the fight, unleashing blasts of freezing air that cripple the giants. Gruggith and his brethren, overwhelmed by the icy onslaught, begin to retreat. Ira and his steed pursue them relentlessly, freezing the very ground beneath their feet. One by one, the giants fall, culminating in Gruggith's shattering demise. The defeat of the Persians. With the giants defeated, Ira turns his attention to the Persian army. Witnessing the collapse of his secret weapon, Cyrus orders a retreat. The Persian forces, disoriented and battered, are overwhelmed by the spreading cold, their retreat turning into a rout as Ira and the Black Iron Horse strike fear into their ranks. The once mighty army flees, leaving Babylon standing defiantly. Aftermath and reflection as the battle ends. Ira surveys the ruins of the battlefield. Though victorious, he feels no triumph. The cold power he wields while saving Babylon has begun to seep into his soul, a chilling reminder of the cost of his strength. The chapter closes with Ira realizing that while this battle is over, the war and his personal struggle with the cold within has only just begun. In the aftermath of their hard-fought victory over Cyrus's army, the people of Babylon celebrate with unrestrained joy. The city, previously shrouded in fear and destruction, comes alive with laughter, music, and light. The streets are filled with festivities, symbolizing the resilience and unity of its people. Children run through the torchlit avenues, women dance adorned with flowers, and men raise their cups in toast to the defenders who secured their freedom. The scent of roasted food and burning incense drifts through the air, marking a night of triumph. Yet amidst the revelry, Ira, the savior of Babylon, remains distant, still clad in his battle-worn armor. He observes the celebrations from the periphery, cold and detached. Despite the gratitude of his soldiers and the admiration of the people, Ira feels isolated. His thoughts linger not on the victory, but on Belshazzar, the priestess who remains the center of his emotional turmoil. Her indifference to the chaos and her choice of a life devoted to the temple weigh heavily on his heart. Ira's unspoken love. As the celebrations continue, Ira quietly withdraws from the crowd and makes his way to the temple where Belshazzar resides. The temple, a place of serene isolation at the edge of the city, contrasts starkly with the lively streets of Babylon. Its high walls and quiet grounds represent her choice to remain detached from the world and its conflicts. Ira, burdened by unspoken emotions, enters the sanctum with a mixture of longing and trepidation. Inside, he finds her standing in silent contemplation, illuminated by flickering oil lamps. She appears serene, her priestess robes and composed demeanor unyielding. Speaking softly, Ira confesses his feelings, sharing how thoughts of her sustained him in battle. He admits that he fought not just for Babylon, but for her, hoping his actions might alter her view of him. However, she remains silent, unresponsive, her stillness conveying an unspoken rejection. The weight of her indifference pierces Ira more deeply than any enemy's blade. Realizing that his love will never be returned, he bids her a quiet farewell, vowing not to trouble her again. His departure is marked by a profound sense of loss, the echo of his confession lingering in the stillness of the temple. The disquiet of victory. Returning to the city, Ira finds little solace in the aftermath of the battle. The streets, now quiet as the festivities wind down, feel as empty as his heart. The Blaze Frost Celestial sword at his side, once a source of power and purpose, now feels like a cold reminder of his isolation. Despite saving the city and earning the adoration of its people, Ira grapples with an inner void. Walking through the darkened streets, Ira reflects on the cost of his strength and the chilling burden of his power. His unrequited love for Belshazzar and the cold fire that fuels his abilities leave him feeling more ghost than man. Though Babylon stands victorious, Ira is haunted by his personal struggles, knowing that the battles within him are far from over. As he disappears into the night, Ira embodies the paradox of heroism, celebrated by others, yet deeply alone.